Is there war?
Oh man, look at this. Nothing like live TV, is there? Guys?
Oh man,
nothing like it. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show. Live from the Toyota Lounge, of course, and presented as always by Bet365. Never ordinary. Certainly not ordinary when we pre-record.
No, there's nothing ordinary about that at all. It's just a little disingenuous.
But why do we pre-record?
So we can be with the fellas.
It's takeover.
I gotta go over to this side of the cage. Why do we pre-record?
Because it's takeover night.
Oh
fellas.
my gosh, we're hanging with the homies tonight. We're hanging with the homies.
Wow, that was good.
Also, Dev, is it Miller time tonight?
It's always Miller time.
Great
It's always Miller time.
Is it Murray time?
I hope that it's Murray time. And if it's Murray time, then it's Miller time.
There you go. We're going to be talking about the Nuggets hosting the Hawks on TakeOver night. We're also going to make this more podcasty than usual because I'm curious which Nuggets players you guys think have the most to gain / lose as we go into the playoffs this year. Who is it? And then we'll look outside the Nuggets and talk about what players and teams have the most to gain and lose. What are the stakes? And then later in the show, we're going to open up the Bet365 app, turn our attention to Dev, and do everything he tells us to do. But first, Top Gun himself, Brennan Vogt.
Let's go, dude. Takeover nights are the best. I think the Nuggets owe everyone a win. I think everyone owes us just a bunch of adoration and gratitude. You know, no, just kidding. Completely kidding. Very excited to hang out with everyone. These are always fun nights. It's a Saturday night at the DNVR bar. What could go wrong?
Supposed to have a lot of wind tonight. Have you seen the reports?
Well, that's
Is it Harrison?
It's a harrowing. Oh, nice.
We got to work that into somehow to the post-game show. Over here, though, we're in the Serbia gear to pander to D-Line Co.
That's right, guys. Nobody feels more pandered to than our fans from Thornton that show up for the takeover event when I wear the... guys, I swore off drinking this morning, and I then realized it was a takeover, and then realized that my life is going to be shorter than I planned.
Any regrets?
All of them.
Okay.
List them all.
All right, every
acknowledge.
single one. And then, of course, on the far end, it's Superstar Dev.
I mean, it's a takeover. Everybody talked about it. Everybody should be here. You're just so lucky. We're lucky to have it, and I'm excited to get going.
Fellas, we went 5 for 5 this year on selling out takeovers.
Come on.
Man, the homies show out for the takeovers.
I wonder if
tonight as
the world champion Denver Nuggets had anything to do
They
with that.
didn't, actually.
No,
They didn't. They didn't.
Not
a lot of people
everyone
told
can
me.
do what we
a
did.
lot of people said,
Yeah.
if you guys did a takeover, let's just to the zoo, I would do it. That's what they tell me every time. What do we got game notes-wise, folks?
Game notes wise, let's take a look at the injury report, shall we?
Yeah.
Start with the Hawks. Sadiq Bey's out. AJ Griffin is out. Trae Young's been out. He's still out. And Okongwu, did I say the G in that? Okongwu?
Yeah.
He's out too.
What's his first name? Do you know?
Onyeka.
There you go.
Let me get more specific. Onyeka's out with a left big toe sprain. Trae Young has been out with a left fifth finger that's torn, obviously.
Yeah.
AJ Griffin, right ankle sprain. Sadiq Bey tore his ACL. So, yeah, he's out for sure.
Did you say left fifth finger?
I did. I got real specific for you.
Which one do you
is
think?
that?
Which one do you think is your?
Great
This is your
question.
first for sure, right?
This is where we have to decide if
Is
the
it-
opposable thumb is a finger.
It is.
So there's that.
Fifth,
So
man,
that
I
would
feel
be
like
the
this
pinky.
is for sure 1. I feel like the middle one's 2. I
It's either
feel
the
like
pinky
this
or
one's
the thumb.
3. But you're right.
The
4. I
fifth
think
finger?
fifth is thumb.
And on the Nuggets
Google this.
things,
Google find out. Who was it?
Why wouldn't they just say
who has the-
thumb?
This is supposed to be pregame.
That
This is
is
like
Trae.
preschool.
Trae Young? All right, let's find out what it was. Trae Young injury.
After 4 comes
5?
5.
right?
I don't
Okay.
feel comfortable with it, but why wouldn't you describe that as the thumb or the pinky? Each one has its own name.
I don't know.
Whatever.
That, medically, that might be the way you do it.
Guys,
Here's
I
what
think
will
it's his
say.
pinky, man.
The Nugget side,
finger.
the Nugget side of the injury report. This update won't be too helpful. Obviously, we pre-record these things, so I've got you the update from 5:30 Eastern time.
Pinky.
And as of that latest update, Jokic is probable with left hip inflammation. Jamal Murray, questionable, which is an
he's in.
upgrade. Questionable.
He's in.
With right knee inflammation. And Aaron Gordon is questionable as well with a right foot strain. I wonder if that little Euro step, we saw that possibly. And then Reggie Jackson is sick tonight. So he is questionable as well.
He's sick?
He's sick. Illness.
I'm here.
People are sick of Reggie Jackson. So he needs to perform today, man. He has to perform.
I think
tough.
Reggie's sick of it too. Poor
Yeah.
guy.
Can you? So in theory, we might get no Murray, no Reggie tonight. Which
Correct.
would really, my preference tonight would be Murray and Reggie. Just get the squad back
Yeah,
together.
sure.
Like let's get these wins. I'm done. But if not, I'd rather neither. I'd rather we go straight call it and pick it tonight with Yoke. Why not, man?
I don't think so. I think that Reggie really does need to find a groove and a rhythm like soon, especially if it makes sense if Jamal's not there, but I want him to play well because the Nuggets need him to play well.
Yeah.
And you need that right now. Like, this is the perfect timing for that. But if they electing to go with a different option, we might as well get the Christian Brown minutes.
Yeah.
Might as well just try him at the backup point guard.
Yeah, that's true.
But I want a Reggie bounce back.
And then a quick update on the Hawks, since that's who's in town tonight. The Hawks just lost to the Mavericks on Thursday, 14-point loss. Again, they've been playing without Trey for a while. And then here's the fun part about their record. 36-41, comfortably in the play-in.
I know.
But as the 10 seed. And so they're not that great. The last team in the play-in in the playoffs out east. They've got a 6-game advantage on the net, so that's taken care of. It's all clinched. And then, of course, you guys know the Nuggets fighting for a 1 seed, all that fun stuff.
Both of these teams have a lot to play for tonight, D-Line. For Denver, we know the stakes, that 1 seed. I mean, I don't know how much they really care about it, but it's
Turns
there.
out no one cares about it.
Nobody, the Thunder don't care about it. The Wolves, they both lost last night, so Denver now, once again, controls their own destiny. We'll see if they take advantage of it and how much they care. But the Hawks do have something to play for, as weird as it is. They're the 10 seed, and they're 1 game behind the 9 seed. That's home court. That's home court in the first play-in game. So that means something.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're right. It does mean something. Without Trae Young, though, I mean, they're going nowhere unless they get Trae Young back.
It's so true.
This is such a lost season for them.
It's like New York, Indiana, Miami, Philly. All might be. 2 of those are going to be in the plan.
Yeah.
The Hawks aren't beaten. They're not beating Chicago first and then going on the road to beat the other team. It's like, it doesn't matter.
They're pre-cooked. They're
pre-cooked?
Absolutely. They're going to go. They're going to arrive.
A factor meal.
Yes, they're going to arrive into the play-in as a stillborn and just, it's like it's over.
That one was a little darker, I feel.
I
mean, pre-cooked is like, that's like fun.
I liked your factor point. I thought that was good.
I thought it was good,
I mean, that happened. If
there is stillborn child.
Choose your least favorite animal, and that's what it's a stillborn version of that.
Okay,
cool.
Let's ask the big question. Circle K, who's gonna eat? Shout out to Circle K, presenting sponsor of this one. Who's gonna eat, Dev?
I think that this is a Michael Porter Jr. game. I think that he eats in this one.
Yes, I personally hope that very much for reasons I won't say.
He just needs to knock down shots, like the threes. We haven't seen him have one of those Porter quarters. Just get himself going where he's the second best player, where he could shoot it every single time and we feel like it's going in. And I think that the Hawks present that. Like, I think that there's going to be a lot of attention on trying to stop Jokic, trying to slow him down. And then on the other end, DeJounte Murray just trying to score every single time. That it just leaves another guy open. I think Michael Porter Jr. has one of those days.
That's what's up.
I mean, that is tough, though. That's
tough. Yeah, D-Line. What about you?
That's tough.
I am curious who's going to eat.
I'm curious, too.
I'm a little too curious. I think it's going to be a trip to Browntown. I feel like Christian is really pushing forward. He's really showing us that he wants to be the 6th best player on the Denver Nuggets. He wants to be the guy that, like he kind of was last year. He kind of fell in status and stature a little bit as the year went on, but he's really like making a push to remind and reinvigorate and give the Nuggets what they need from a energy and effort standpoint, which is something you sorely need at this this terrible stretch down the end here, where everybody else is sort of looking towards the playoffs and he's looking to get into playoff shape or playoff mindset. So I like Christian, baby. Let's go to Browntown.
Those were my fun choices, but since you guys took them and
you got to make one up now.
The best player in the world is available, I'm going to take him. I'm going to go with Jokic.
What?
And I'm going to base that off of, gestures broadly at the last 5 and 6 years of our lives. How about that?
Yep.
Is that good enough?
It's really all it comes down to. You're picking him because he's good.
Yeah.
Dude, that's extremely astute.
Thank you.
Clint Capella, though. Remember when Clint Capella was... I remember...
James Harden, yeah.
Because actually, I love the guy. I like Haralabob a lot. He's like, I think he does a good job with his analysis. I distinctly remember once in 2017, he said something about, I'd take Capella over Jokic. That's your centers, you just need to do that.
That was Golden State ruined everyone's understanding of a center for 5 years.
Yeah.
I know that they just need to be a person.
Yeah, just Clint Capella. But it turns out having one who can play offense not that bad.
I'm going to be bold. You guys know I'm bold.
What?
Let me
man.
do this. I'm going to be
My
really
man's
bold.
going to be bold.
Jamal Murray. We're recording this so early. We have no idea if he's even playing or not. I'm
This
going to
is-
say he plays, and I'm going to say he plays well.
Whoa, this
Hell
is
yeah.
an unhinged take.
This is so unhinged.
It's like when you picked Jalen Pickett and
He
then
did not
Colin
play.
Gillespie had
I
like
could
a
go-
triple-double.
I could go 0 for 2 on players not even playing. All right, here's the thing. I sense that the fan base.
I hope that he's ruled out before this airs.
It will be. Honestly, it will be by the time
Quite
this
possible.
goes. He'll either be in or out. Here's the thing. I've seen some tweets lately of some fans kind of calling him out a little bit for not being available as much. Whether it's fair, now we don't know if players are hurt. Obviously he's hurt. I don't doubt that he's hurt.
Dude.
But some people kind of noting how he's always hurt or whatever. There was one in particular, I'm not even going to reference it, that went hyper viral that I know he saw. If he saw Brendan Vogt's 2 a.m. tweet, not you didn't tweet this one. If you saw that one, he definitely saw this one that got 1 million shares or whatever.
3 a.m.
And I just think that there is either two ways it could go. One,
Last takeover night. Stay on. Check the timeline tonight.
Water. Starting with the water.
that was the takeover. Hell yeah.
Thought crossed my mind.
That's incredible. There's two ways you can go at it. You could just be pissed and really take it personal, which is the way I would personally go if it were me.
Yep.
Or you can say, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to shut everybody up, lovers and haters alike. Because look, Nuggets fans love Jamal, man. Even this panel loves Jamal. Tonight, I could see a bounce back of all right, I got you guys. You guys look tired. I saw Yoke. He looked exhausted. AG looked like you got in a car crash. He fell so hard. I got you guys tonight. I'm predicting a big bounce back game.
Great
Jamal
call.
brings some energy to that ball arena, and he hears the crowd chanting his name.
You want to talk about a living inside the bubble take is that Jamal's going to have a good night because of Twitter. I love it.
I'm just saying, man. Like
Such a rag.
Yeah, it's a little inside the bubble. Let's go on now, guys. I really want to talk. It's Bubble Murray. I really want to talk about this. Which Nuggets players going into this playoff has the most to gain / lose?
question.
The widest, if it goes well, if it goes poorly. Who do you think it is, Dev?
Jamal Murray.
I think you're
In
right.
which direction?
Both.
Because of Twitter?
Absolutely. Yeah,
I see.
it goes both ways. If he
Think
has
of the tweets, dude.
if he has another like epic playoff performance, he's really is. It just keeps on adding to like the legend that is him just being a playoff performer and how much that means to him. So I think that that's huge. If he doesn't, then you go back to like maybe we need to reevaluate if he's really that good in the playoffs. People just act like they won't remember the 50-point games or him being a player that helped them win a championship or get to that point. And then also there's so much riding on if he's good. Because if he's good, they win another championship. If he is not good, I mean, they're not going to win a championship, which means that this is not the year for them or it's not a great year. And you start having all these like spiraling thoughts. So I think that Jamal Murray has the most in both directions.
Good answer.
100% agree. What about you, D-Line? I mean, I feel like that should be a consensus take, but maybe you disagree.
definitely. I mean, definitely. I'm gonna go a little Mahrez on your ass, though. I'm going a little outside the box.
Oh,
maybe a player you hadn't considered. KCP. He's got a contract coming up, and we saw what happened with Bruce Brown being propelled by the Denver Nuggets. That no one gained more, including Nikola Jokic, than Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown went from guy that was like a kind of interesting to the most coveted free agent in one season.
Angle.
He got a unbelievable amount of money by a team that has already traded him. But the most, I'm just going to say monetarily, KCP has a big opportunity to put himself in the great glue guy to guy we absolutely have to have.
I think it's a good take.
No.
I honestly do. I don't think he wouldn't be that high to me because.
Well, I mean, there are obvious answers here that I just was allowing the fellas to have. You know what I mean?
There you go.
We know how Denver will remember Jokic on a grander scale. How will history remember Jokic? And while it's solidified in our minds, there's plenty still to be done here. And let's say he goes on and wins this third MVP. He will. Then he goes and he gets a second finals MVP in as many years with 3 MVPs in 4 years. That's a tier 1A peak. No asterisks, no buts. And while we all think he's been headed that way for some time, to have the proof there, to just have it written in stone. Jokic has so much shit. I don't know how much he has to lose per se, compared to other guys on the team.
True.
But what could happen if he just does it again? This guy will never be looked at the same, even by folks well outside of Denver.
I like the way you put it, because I do think the first title elevates your overall narrative legacy floor. So he does less to lose, because we know he's a good player. Nobody's going to take back first player ever to lead in points, rebounds, and assists for a playoff run. Nobody's going to take that. So the floor is high. He doesn't have a lot to lose. But you are right that the gap between one championship and two, and the gap between even two championships and back-to-back championships is huge. So if you get that, you just automatically elevate yourself into the conversation with guys like Hakeem Olajuwon. You as a team and all that stuff. So I agree with you. I think Yoke would probably be number 2 behind Murray, because Murray, you get 2 titles, and then it's like the whole All-Star thing completely goes away, where it's like, it doesn't matter, man. This guy is consistently an All-Star, playoff All-Star. For me, I'll take the last guy that I think actually has unique stakes, and that's Peyton Watson. Christian Brown really established himself as a key piece of this team in the playoffs last year by being able to play. Had a huge finals game that helped the Nuggets win Game 3. Peyton Watson at this very moment, there was his peak. P-Watt stock was at an all-time high in January. It is not at an all-time high right now. It peaked there. If he has a poor playoff, that peak will kind of almost feel like a hot run. Whereas if he has a cold playoff, if he has a hot playoff run, it'll be like, oh no, he's the guy we all thought he was in January. He's a piece of this core. You're not trading him. He's going to grow next year into something even bigger and better. And I just think he has a lot of ground to make up. But I could also see a world where he doesn't play by the second round, Dev. That's why the range of outcomes to him just feels so wide.
Yeah, and then also you would have to reevaluate the type of year that he had if he does not perform well in the playoffs. So there is a lot riding on him. And then also he's a player of the future. He's a rotation player that you kind of want to, I want to say in a way build around, but at least for that second unit. So he can build his stock if he plays well. You'll get to hear about how good Calvin Booth really did in that draft, and how they took a chance and things like that. Yeah. He has a lot riding on this.
Yeah, he really does.
But yeah, if Peyton does not perform well or fizzles out, that kind of determines how the rotation looks or how the bench rotation looks. So yeah, I think it could go both ways.
Let's step outside the Nuggets for a second. This playoffs, which teams or players or marquee players outside of Denver do you think feel the most pressure? I'll start this side.
Feel the most pressure,
or just have the most to lose, gain.
I'll say, not to be funny, but I will say Celtics and Tatum.
They're my number 1.
Tatum, obviously, in his personal career, has a long time to go. Well, a couple of years to go before that clock starts on will you chase ghosts or all that. But how much better can this core get around Tatum and Brown? And how many years do you give it? And at one point, does ownership start to think that is an expensive bill going forward? If it's not now, when is it? So I think it's got to be them.
I kind of agree. I think the Celtics are the team that most should feel the pressure of, hey, man, what more do you need? You got 5. At one point in the season, we were talking about should they have 5 All-Stars? You have pressure to win. All right, who else?
Sixers.
You think so?
They're in a strange place because next year they only have Embiid and Maxey basically under contract, and they are going to be in a place where they're going to start looking if they don't get past the second round again, there's going to be big questions about is it possible? Do we need to look at this? The one thing that they have, the benefit they have obviously is that Embiid was out for most of the year, so they can just be well, you can't really count this.
They're an 8 seed.
Yeah, but they're at a point. They are the same team that started this. They should, by all rights, be the 2nd seed, and everybody I think knows that. And I think if they falter and they fall apart in the second round again, it's going to start to. It's going to be deafening. Whether or not they're going to, if their foundation is correct.
Do you agree with this one, Dev?
I just know because I hear it. I hear these people talking all the time now. I know what they're saying.
But I also hear the conversation about, yeah, man, he missed all that time. What could you expect? He missed all that time.
No, I know, but it's more so that nobody else is under contract next year.
I think that they just have a built-in excuse. So it gets to go either way. If they perform well, you're like, hey, what if he was healthy? How much better would he have done? How much better would they have done? If they don't do well, it's okay. I mean, he was hurt, so it's okay. Also, it's just him and Maxey. Like, I can see if they had like a big three or somebody else to like go there for them, but it's just those two, and then not much other pieces around it. So I think they have an excuse.
It reminds me honestly of Milwaukee last year. Giannis lost in a 1-8. Was it a 1-8 or was it 2-7?
I don't know.
1-8 or 2. It was
1-8.
He lost it a 1-8. But you know what? Chirping wasn't that loud because he missed 2 games.
But then they went out and made massive deals in the offseason.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that by all accounts should be on such a major blemish on the record where it's like, yeah, man, you lost to an 8 seed. But it wasn't, because he missed a couple of games and it provided just enough of an excuse for you to say, and I just think it'll be the same with the 76ers, where there'll be enough of a release valve to say, if only they were healthy. They would have won it if they were just healthy.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
Who do you have near the top?
Mine's is probably the Phoenix Suns.
So I had number 2.
It's just how much money they have put into that team.
All of it.
They also have a big three, and it's Durant on the back end. Like he has a lot, because they're just going to talk about him going to the Golden State Warriors and that being the only way that he can win or bring something there. And then also we all know how talented Devin Booker is, but he has not proved it in the Western Conference Finals or when it matters to get them there. They have the pieces. They have a team that can win it, but they just continue to underachieve. So that's my answer.
I think the Suns have an enormous amount to lose, man. One, financially, they are all in. And then I just think this is the year they become a joke. And they might lose in the first round. They might win it all, but they might lose in the first round. And if that happens, man, unlike the Celtics, who I think are highly unlikely to lose in the first round, the Suns could. And if that happens, man, you start talking about that. All of those assets for a first-round loss is insane. I'll say I think the Bucks, but in particular Dame and Giannis.
I was just gonna say Dame. Yeah.
I think Dame and Giannis actually have a lot to lose. One, they might, it hasn't seemed like the perfect marriage between those two guys. Giannis's last year, it would compound this year if you got Dame and it didn't work out. So I think they are high on my list as well.
I had that as well. I mean, Dame. This is probably Dame's last shot to be a high-impact, high-role guy on a title team. What a swing that is.
Yeah.
If he wins a title, people go, yeah, he's a top 75 player of all time, and you leave it alone. If he doesn't, I don't know one really cares about that list, but that kind of framing, I do think ages poorly. Maybe that's fair or not, but it all comes down to 1 year.
I have one last one for you guys.
I have a name.
Yeah, no, you go first.
Real fast to just stick on that Bucks one. Doc Rivers is also in there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they brought in him, and he's done worse than the coach that they already had, with a lot riding on this. They thought that was just going to be the fix, the change. Look over here. There's a fire over there, and it's still a fire. It actually is built. So, I think that they do have a lot.
It's funny. Again, you talk about social media being a bubble. Doc Rivers threw the bus driver under the bus the other day. Everybody clowned him for it. What's he say after the next game they lost, which was the very next game? This is on me, you guys. This is on me. As a coach, I got to take it on. That was a clear, everybody clowned him for blaming other people. We probably have the same name.
I actually don't think we do, so I want to hear what you have.
It's Luka. I think Luka has an enormous right. Every player has an arc where they reach where you have grace, and then it just flips to, oh, he's just a loser. I think for Luka, that is this year. This is the year where if he doesn't win, or at least get close enough to recuse himself, people are going to be empty stats guy.
Yeah.
Can't believe we even considered him for MVP. That guy's team missed the playoffs last year and gets bounced every year except for that one time. And that will start to become Luka's reputation after this season.
I have 2 more names.
Fair or not?
I don't know how much they have to lose, but I think they're dark horse candidates for most to gain, and they belong to the same org. Tim Connolly and Rudy Gobert.
Woo! Oh, man, Rudy Gobert does have a lot to gain.
Dude,
You're
if
right.
the Timberwolves win a title... First of all, the Rudy Gobert redemption tour this year is
God,
insane.
So annoying.
It's insane. And by the way, Tim, maybe history doesn't remember it this way. We will. Had at least one hand in the pot here with the Denver title we just saw.
2 hands.
What if the Wolves come back and win one the next year? What if they're the team that topples Denver under his construction?
God, I'll never shut up.
That's a guy who
I will never shut up. I mean, people, I remember when we had the semi-emergency podcast after Tim Connolly was taken.
That was an emergency.
Yeah. No, I know. I just don't know that we acknowledged it as an emergency podcast. And I was so upset. And people were like, like just saying that I was making a big deal out of nothing, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, Tim Connolly is gifted. He is gifted. And if I don't even want to put what I'm about to think in the air.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want that.
Jokic the other day when they were in town was asked about Tim Connolly, and if everybody missed it, you should go back because he really raved about how much he loves Tim.
Because he's awesome. Like, Tim Connolly's awesome, and he understands the game in ways people don't acknowledge and people also don't understand. The way he's able to team build is something that should be studied by other organizations.
Yeah, my last one, and it's not that like I just think they have a lot to gain. It's not like lose, but the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, I feel like they have their core, they have their future, so they'll get a few more cracks at it. But this is like their best year, like in a long time, and they really do have a chance, especially with a superstar that everybody is now starting to see that he's a true superstar. They're pretty cocky. They're pretty confident. They give off those vibes of like those Memphis Grizzlies teams, like Houston Rockets teams that, when they're up, they're front runners. When they lose or things get like bad, then we get to see how they change course. But if they win, they're going to be unbearable.
They are annoying. I actually think that it's like the league needs to band together to suppress this team because they would be a far more. It's like I love the Grizzlies comp because that's their negative side.
Right.
They could become that. If they win, though, I think they become the Celtics. If they get out of the West, the Celtics were really young when they made their first finals.
Exactly.
And
They're just a bunch of kids.
But then you almost their future seems guaranteed. Oh, they'll win one eventually.
Yeah.
Whereas if you lose, it's like the Memphis Grizzlies. You're like, they're young and stuff, but I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. So that's a good call out. I think they have more to gain than lose, though.
Sure.
All right. Because there's not a lot of lines out, this final segment might be kind of quick. Let's hop on Bet365. Dev, there's not a lot of game player props, but I will say that spread tells me there might be something percolating.
Yeah, and if you're talking about Jamal Murray,
I'm just saying it's minus 11.
Maybe you might be right. Denver comes into this game as 11-point favorites, which is pretty wild. 11 points, and this is a team that still has things to play for.
Yeah.
This is a very important game for them. And Denver, and no team wants number one in the West, so it's like, hey, this could be closer. Let's take the minus 11. It's
Really?
a takeover. We need something to root for.
Let's
It's
go.
a
Let's go,
takeover.
man. You're
Let's go,
right.
Dev.
We gotta I love that
root
take.
for
Yeah,
it.
shouldn't we take the over?
Take the over. Take over.
On the
also,
takeover.
that means we get to get out of there early, come back to the bar, and get ready for the celebration and stuff. So let's take the 11.
Oh, it's a Saturday night.
I like the over 221.
Take the over. We're doing
We haven't
it.
had an over in a while. I've been actually betting
Take
unders.
Take the over.
It's a take over. You trying to take over.
We're the worst.
I think that it happens. I really just think that Denver can score on them whenever they want to.
I agree.
And they have a few pieces that also will be able to score. So I like it. I liked it for Atlanta's side of things.
All right, let's
boy.
go quickly.
The over for DeJounte Murray is too low, 22.5. He's either going to get Jamal Murray defense or he's going to get Reggie Jackson defense. Jamal Murray's is coming off of an injury. I don't think that he's going to push. Yeah, I mean, you could get the Christian Brown defense. He's going to get 22.5.
Take
Just a
over.
bit too easy.
Take the overs on everything.
I like the points plus rebounds for Clint Capella. It's only 21.5.
Why do you like him, Dev?
He's just a really good rebounder.
Yeah.
the over.
He just could get 15 rebounds
All right.
probably. Points plus rebounds. All right, on to Denver side of things, which you all came for.
Real quick, Jamal Murray does have lines.
He
I'm
does
just
have
saying he
lines.
has lines.
Oh.
What?
What?
Michael Porter Jr. over.
What? Take the
2.5
over?
3
Bro,
pointers.
you've been making this bet every time, and I love it.
I love it too.
We haven't been hitting it though.
I know.
We're
Come
going to
on,
get it
PJ.
while we're
Tonight's
in
night.
the arena.
I don't know if you know the fake definition of insanity, but go ahead.
Yeah,
It is
It is the
fake.
fake
It is fake.
definition.
That's true.
I also
Is it
think
Einstein that's coined that?
I also think
Einstein,
he's going to shoot well,
was
so
always
his
making
points
shit
are
up.
too low. It's 19.5. I think he hits 4 or 5 3-pointers, so 19.5 is going to be easy to get.
For MPJ?
Yes, he's also been rebounding extremely well.
Hey-o.
He's been getting that every single time. So you could do a points plus rebounds combination. This is a Michael Porter Jr. night. I said he was going to eat. I think he's going to eat.
And I will tell you, again, I made reference to it before, like if Michael Porter Jr. does, in fact, eat this night, check the timeline. That's all I'll say.
There you go. By the way, he loves going up against his buddy Trey. Not playing tonight, but his team.
It's true.
Just wants to show off in front of his buddy Trey.
That's something that he likes. You know what? Let's stick there. They have his assist at 1.5.
Whoa.
No, I
He's
can't.
going to
Really?
get 2 assists.
Let's go down.
You know what? I'm
Get
doing
2
it.
assists.
MPJ assist.
Michael
Takeover
Oh, man,
MPA, dude.
we're gonna be just. It's going to be a Michael Porter Jr. night. Check the timeline.
Check if then.
Check the timeline. KCP, he's been playing hard, extremely hard. I like his points, rebounds, and assists. I think he's just been doing a lot of things. Really just take his points because, I mean, that's all it comes with him. He's not rebounding much. He's not getting assists. Or just take his points. It's too low. They have Aaron Gordon lines if he plays.
I'm worried about that one.
Yeah.
It's going to be points, rebounds, and assists.
Really?
He's been scoring, man.
I know, but
He's not
Even
effing
though he
around,
looks
dude.
banged up, he still has been playing extremely hard. He gives his all out.
Don't forget about the ice bath, bro.
And yeah, he took an ice bath, and that matters.
that's true. He did take a long ice bath.
For the lock.
Oh, let's go, baby.
Yeah, okay.
It's Joker's world, and
Let's
we're just
go.
living in it.
Okay.
Points plus rebounds. It's just too easy. He gets this. And he's been scoring a lot like lately.
Yeah.
Points plus rebounds is only 42.5, which sounds crazy to say only. That's like 30 points and 13 rebounds.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna
Light work.
clear. He's gonna clear that. Points
Light
plus
work.
I also think that he's gonna get a triple double.
I do too. I actually love that as my lock. If Murray plays tonight, he gets a triple double. Just it's an automatic.
It's been like other people just not knocking down shots, or that's really the factor. He makes the extra pass. He gets them to their spots. He's gonna get a triple double. We're gonna go crazy. We're gonna come back. We're gonna party.
We're going to party. We went long today. Game's about to start. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. We're going to go take over Ball Arena. Hit the like
God.
button on the way out. See you on the other side.
Pray for D-line.
We all silly like the mayor.